there's two extremes. Maybe there's people like me who are trying to shame themselves to healthy and fit, coming from this place of resistance. Or there's the people who don't really believe they're worthy, who are unhealthy, overweight, who are making up every excuse in the world of why they should eat this shitty food, but they're also coming from a place of not believing they're worthy because they're not doing the things that they know they should be doing.
Which then becomes like a cycle of self-sabotage, and that rabbit hole continues.
So I believe we really have a self-worth problem that we're dealing with. And there can be two extremes that we go about it. Mine was the extreme type A perfectionist side, but there's this other side, and this is why most people are overweight and obese. That's another form of addiction. My addiction was just more, I'd say, publicly praised with fitness, and it could be academics, whatever it may be, where a lot of people have food and drugs and alcohol. But the root is still the same with everybody, is the place that we're coming from.
Welcome to the Fitness CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to helping fitness entrepreneurs launch and grow successful gyms. Here's your host, Bryce Henson.
Now, kind of transitioning, once you figured this out, it was completely overstressed. You were overtaxing your body. Your cortisol levels through the roof. You realized, okay, this is actually the fundamental root issue. What was the solution? And then after we go through that solution that you found on how you basically healed yourself, I want to transition into Rachel Scheer Nutrition as you transition to that. And you're a world-class coach. You are literally one of the world experts, in this. So I'm curious to kind of unveil the onion, if you will, on some, how you've been able to be an incredible coach and, just really what that, unpacking that. But really, what was the solution? How did you heal yourself? And then how did that transition into Rachel Scheer Nutrition?
One of the things about healing the gut is the whole person must heal for the gut to function optimally. And what I mean by that is it's not just nutrition, although that's super important and plays a huge role in our gut health. It's not just, the stress or taking supplements. Probiotics work, which is a supplement people take for gut health. Mm-hmm. People like me and a lot of other gastroenterologists would be out of their job, because it's more than just supplements, and it's even more than just diet. I believe it's really the place that we're coming from. It's taking this holistic mind and body approach to healing. So getting to the root cause, it was plural, root causes that I had going on in my life. And the true root cause, Bryce, that I was dealing with was the place that I was coming from. I was coming from this massive place of unworthiness. I had this addiction of trying to prove something to who? Myself. Mm-hmm. And the fruits were burnout, exhaustion, gut issues. And, we see this so often, I think, in the fitness and the health industry. One, we put health in a box and it says, just go to the gym, lift heavy things, and, eat healthy most of the time. And then why do so many people suffer, right? And there's two extremes. Maybe there's people like me who are trying to shame themselves to healthy and fit, coming from this place of resistance. Or there's the people who don't really believe they're worthy, who are unhealthy, overweight, who are making up every excuse in the world of why they should eat this shitty food, but they're also coming from a place of not believing they're worthy because they're not doing the things that they know they should be doing for themselves.
Which then becomes like a cycle of self-sabotage, and, that rabbit hole continues.
So I believe we really have a self-worth problem that we're dealing with. And there can be two extremes that we go about it. Mine was the extreme type A perfectionist side, but there's this other side, and this is why most people are overweight and obese. That's another form of addiction. My addiction was just more, I'd say, publicly praised with fitness, and it could be academics, whatever it may be, where a lot of people have food and drugs and alcohol. But the root is still the same with everybody, is the place that we're coming from. So that's where that healing journey really starts to become. I think it's going from that self-awareness to creating true self-love, to self-confidence, self-trust. And that's a lot of what my journey has evolved to. And that's the long journey. But it's also been, of course, the other root cause is my diet. Like I said, I had a diet full of processed food, artificial sweeteners. So I had to do various elimination diets. I had to remove things that were negatively affecting my gut. And gut healing is very different than gut health. So it was a very therapeutic type healing diet I had to do for a while.
I was going to say, how long was this process before you fully like recalibrated your body?
It's hard to say because, there was times where it continued to get better and better. And what I mean by that is my healing probably, like for a lot of my gut symptoms, took about the course of a year between diet, stress, kind of some of the mental healing that I was doing. And, it would be, I could go for a few, maybe weeks without any issues, but then I'd have a little relapse and then it would be a little bit longer. And then I just remember one day getting to a place and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't remember when the last time was that I had gut issues. And I think that's really how healing works. But the long game really is this piece here. And, this is the work that really never ends. And that's the piece of work that I'm so passionate about now, is really helping people step into the best versions of themselves and creating the life, the health, the business, the impact that they want for themselves, but coming from a massive place of worthiness instead of from this place of lack.
Well, you're speaking into my soul, and I would imagine probably many of our audience, but I share many similarities, some differences as well. But from the addiction to the success, the outwardly success, I have many publicly praised addictions, but also I have some not so good addictions. I'm a recovering, alcoholic and drug addict and whatnot. But interestingly enough, like when you pull down the golden thread, that's actually what it leads to.
Worth.
And you're speaking into my soul, and I know that this message needs to be, heard. And when I, was kind of like hearing you articulate the solution and, getting into the, incredible research that you did and all that, but you also realize there's many root causes, but also it's a big mental aspect as well. Yeah. My first thought, it's interesting kind of bringing it back to what we do at Fit Body Bootcamp is, to train clients, really to inspire fitness, change lives is our mission. And we're training them on nutrition and fitness and human movements, et cetera. But, most of it's a mental game.
It's a mental game.
Simple fitness is pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. But it's really that mindset. So we offer a lot of mindset coaching with Fit Body. I would imagine when I'm listening to you, especially knowing how clinical you are, how much research you do for your clients. I know testing is a really big part of that. So there's a huge science component, but also too, and I would have imagined that there would be a mindset element, but because of the nature of your work, I actually am a little surprised in a very positive way on your take on that, which I'm sure has led to a lot of client success and, your success as an incredible fitness entrepreneur, coach, and whatnot. So in any case, a lot to unpack there, but that's really, really powerful. And I thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable. And excited to continue to learn from you. Hey, my friend, hopefully you love that short teaser of the recent episode on the Fitness CEO podcast. To check out the full episode, it will be dropping shortly. But in the meantime, there's some other episodes around here that you need to see.